Good morning. Welcome back to the Red Mic. Happy Tuesday. I'm glad you're here. These Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons I've picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Today's Red Mic message comes from my love of history, particularly Texas history. Somebody asked me yesterday why I didn't mention San Jacinto Day yesterday. Um, yes, I know most of my listeners, viewers are from Texas, but I try not to make this too Texas centric. But yeah, I probably should have mentioned San Jacinto yesterday. Yesterday was the as they say the 18 minutes to victory, where Sam Houston, following the runaway scrape, basically a strategic but also desperate retreat eastward out of Mexican occupied the nation of Tejas. The revolutionaries were basically running for their lives, but Sam Houston was being strategic about it. He was looking for that perfect battlefield, and he ended up finding one in San Jacinto. And Santa Anna, of course, made some stupid mistakes, and he thought he was unstoppable, the Napoleon of the West, and all of that. um, and the Texas Revolutionaries, the Texians as they called themselves, they were successful, and they beat a much larger Mexican army in 18 minutes. There in the marshes of San Jacinto. So I'm going to talk about the day after San Jacinto. And it all centers around mercy, strategy, um, and probably one of the most important decisions in Texas history. Probably had a pretty big impact on American history too, because if Texas doesn't become Texas, who knows what happens to the U.S. after that? April 1836. The Texians had just won their stunning victory at San Jacinto. Sam Houston's ragtag force of volunteers, again, in 18 minutes, they routed the Mexican army. They captured hundreds, the rest were scattered to the wind. Now, the next day, they captured Santa Anna, the president of Mexico, the guy who had violated the, the, the Constitution of Mexico. Yes, there were Texians who wanted to have their own country and eventually join the U.S. But most Texians, they just wanted to live under the Constitution, and Santa Anna violated it. Well, they captured him. He was disguised as a common soldier. He was hiding in the brush, and if not for the fact that uh, his soldiers, kept going El Presidente, and basically recognizing him, he might have gotten away with it. This was not good for Santa Anna because, I mean, this was the butcher of the Alamo. This was the guy who made the orders uh, to kill everybody at Goliad. Remember the Alamo, remember Goliad. He treated the Texians not as soldiers, but as criminals, as terrorists, even though that wasn't a term used back then. And he said they didn't deserve mercy, they deserved to be put to the sword. And that was just the way he saw it. And he made sure that no one walked away, no one survived. His idea was eventually, if I keep killing them, I'll either get to the rest of them and kill them all, or everybody will just quit. And that's what he thought Sam Houston was doing in the runaway scrape. He was like, I'm just going to keep pushing them. He didn't engage them. If he had, this might have ended up a lot differently. But he just kept pushing them, thinking, okay, I'm going to push them out of Texas and then they won't come back. So all that's the backdrop on Sam Houston. He's underneath a tree. He's got a shattered ankle, um, wounded, and they march the president of Mexico in front of him, the General Santa Anna, in front of them, and he's in shackles the whole bit, and Houston had every reason to want revenge. His men wanted it. Uh, David Burnett, the interim president of Texas, he wanted Santa Anna gone. But Houston saw the strategic value in having a defeated president. He started thinking like a statesman instead of a soldier. Now remember, Sam Houston was a former governor, so he knew a little bit about leading people, leading a state. And he said, "No, I'm not going to kill you, but I want Texas. I want you to recognize that we are an independent nation now, and that you and your men and all of your soldiers are going to leave Texas, and you're going to let us run our own affairs." Killing Santa Anna would have just made him a martyr. Keeping him alive made him a bargaining chip. With Santa Anna's signature at the bottom of the Treaty of Velasco, the Republic of Texas got legitimacy, it got leverage, and a little bit of breathing room that allowed it to become a nation. Houston didn't act out of weakness, he acted out of strength. He granted mercy when others would have just let bloodlust rule the day. He saw the bigger picture. He understood that mercy isn't soft. It's sometimes stronger than anything. It's sometimes the hardest thing to do, and it's often the smart thing to do. In business, as a leader, there's going to be times where someone's going to be completely at your mercy. They've wronged you, they've underperformed, they've hurt the organization, they've made your life difficult. You're going to be pressured to act, and maybe your first instinct is to cut them loose. And maybe that is ultimately what you end up doing. Maybe that's actually the right thing to do. To punish them, to fire them, to make an example. Sometimes it's going to be better if you don't. Depends on what outcome you're after. Do you want a pound of flesh or do you want progress? Weigh all of that. Try to remember the lesson of history, the lesson that Sam Houston taught everybody after San Jacinto, the day after, when he showed mercy to a man that almost certainly would not have shown him any. Again, do you want your pound of flesh or do you want progress? That's today's Red Mike message. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it helpful. I hope you will give me a like, a follow, and a share. And for those of you that were upset that I didn't talk about San Jacinto yesterday, I hope this makes it up to you. I appreciate you being here. I will see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow, Wednesday, hump day. We'll make a day out of it, shall we? I'll see you. I appreciate you. Don't forget, life is short. Drink the bourbon.